Wow, and we both feel so lucky that we ended up here because it's a city that you can't help but love. And so I went to some event and I met a woman by the name of, well, she went by Tiny Loose. I don't even know what her real name was, but she, I talked to her at some event, and the next thing I know, I get a phone call from her, and she said, would you like to be a tour guide at the Milwaukee County Historical Society? I said, well, that sounds really interesting, but I know nothing about Milwaukee's history. I just moved here a year ago or whatever it was. And she said, oh, don't worry, we have a great docent course and we'll teach you all about Milwaukee. And well, how could I say no? So that was really the beginning. And I took that docent course. I learned an awful lot about Milwaukee history. It was really fun. Wonderful way to get to know Milwaukee and feel like I really belonged in Milwaukee. And I figure I was on the board a total of more than 25 years if you added all my service. And I was vice president of the board in 1981, and then I was president of the board, actually the first woman president, 1982 to 1984. And then I had a second term that I think was fairly soon after they asked me to go on the board again, and that term ended in 1992 when I was working at the foundation. So when I was president, I was still giving tours and things and going into the schools and promoting, because I think there's so much here and we never can talk about it enough or promote it enough so that people really realize the important, we're not just this old historic place that sort of sits here, we're helping the community all the time and we're an amazing resource for the community. So I just love Milwaukee and felt it was meant to be that I ended up here, and I think the Historical Society has been such a nice big part of that I learned history and that I care about the history and that I love this city. So I'm very grateful to the Historical Society.
Concordia 27, whenever I talk about it as both a concept and a place. So as a concept, it is a collaboration between neighborhood organizations, Near West Side Partners, Centers for Independence, Scaling Wellness in Milwaukee, and Fruition MKE, which is a cafe, co-working space, and creative maker space, as well as with Weekend Enterprises, who is providing 33 units of affordable housing. So as a concept, it's really about coming together as a neighborhood to address the resources and the needs of our neighbors. As a place, it is a $20 million redevelopment on the corner of 27th and Wells Street that has tenant space for each one of these service providers and the housing units, as well as some pretty spectacular community space.
It's been a very heartwarming process, not without challenges, but time, working with an old building, working with diverse stakeholders, but it was never a negative, that's not my problem. Everybody really worked together to say, okay, how do we provide answers to you? And that was really key to the project's success.
Yeah, I would just add to that, projects like this just don't happen. And this project would not have happened had it not been for Rick Wiegand. I mean, certainly Near West Side Partners and the Concordia 27 collaborative partners were there to help make things a little bit easier, and he had a great architectural and design team behind him, but he had to really have and share the vision and to be willing to take a risk. I mean, this was by no means a guarantee, and it just wouldn't have happened had it not been for Rick's commitment and his vision.
And I think we just tried to figure out what the building wanted to do and how it wanted to support these groups in the best way it could. Understanding the bones, working with Donna Weiss and Preserve to really understand the the limitations and the benefits of the state and federal tax credit program.
Sense to develop it as affordable housing, because this project was about that type of concept, to bring this building back to use for the community. And if we were able to charge downtown or east side rents, it wouldn't be right, because this should be occupied by people that have lived in this neighborhood for years and now have the option to live in a lot better housing.
We've been working on a few projects like this, and we've kind of come up with a term in our office, and you've heard the term gentrification, where it really, like you were saying, you redo a building, you rehabilitate it, and it pushes people in the neighborhood out of the bracket that can afford to live in it. And we've really been honored with working on projects in the past few years that we really call regeneration. So we're basically regenerating a building for the neighborhood that's currently here. And the uses that are here don't have a lifespan to them. They can still support Milwaukee and still support even the greater community as this neighborhood fluxes. Because as you may know, the houses around here are a incredible disparity of like low income, high income, middle, rental, single family home, fully restored mansions. Like, it's the gamut. And then you also have Concordia University, owned by the Potawatomi. So it's this whole like mishmash of things that could only happen in Milwaukee.
The building of Concordia 27 was a big undertaking, both in construction and fundraising, but the biggest undertaking in my vision is having it deliver on its promise to the community. And so the day that we had the ribbon cutting was June 25th, 2024. I had a meeting with the Near West Side Partners team, and I said, let's celebrate, let's enjoy every moment of this, because tomorrow is when the really hard work begins. And that's making sure that people feel welcome here, that they feel like it is a space for them, that they are coming in and utilizing all the resources and programs that we have. And that's the kind of work that's going to be happening for years to come.
I think it's so important that all kids have some of the same opportunities that my kids had. Both of them had a great education, but we do realize that everyone can't have two parents that are engineers. But we have to do whatever we can to give every child an opportunity to succeed. So that's why I volunteer a lot. So families and education, kids, those are the important things to me. So the work I do in the community really focuses around those areas. As a mentor, I think about how many mentees I have, and I told my husband I think I only have like 5. My husband says, no, I think you have like 25 mentees. So I think mentorship is very important. I normally tell my mentees, buckle up, buttercup, because I think about like with my daughter and my kids, I had 18 years to mold them and to tell them all the things. And then with my mentees, when they're in college, they have 4 years that I have to make up in 4 of what I taught in 18. So, because everybody may come from a different environment, may not have been raised the same way that I was raised, which means it's the same way I raised my daughter, and it's my son. But I think it's important to help people fill that gap for information they don't have. So it's working with young people, trying to get them to understand that the world is much bigger than what they see, and that the opportunities are just enormous for them. And if we don't show them what the opportunities are, they won't know that those opportunities are there, because if you can't see it, you can't be it. That's what makes the difference to me. It's seeing a community strive. It's seeing that if a door was open for someone, that they were able to walk through it and succeed. That's what brings me joy. The one thing I'd like for folks to know about the community is, it is a wonderful community. And the community can thrive if we all work together. But it's going to take all of us It's not just, this neighborhood organization, it's everyone working to make a difference.
And this year at our banquet, we are honoring the Baumgartners, Donna and Don Baumgartner, and just to learn what they've done to help the arts, and not just giving money, which they've given a heck of a lot of money to the arts and helped ballet, the film festival, the so many different groups, the rep. But also giving their hearts and soul to the community in terms of the arts, not just here's a check, but really asking the questions, being involved. So very hands-on, both of them,